And we're live.
We are doing show number 106. Welcome to the Laura Shepherd Show number 106. Everybody, all you folks out there in TV land and all you folks right here in the audience, I'd like to hear everybody singing loudly. Ready?
Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen like a new
Woo! Oh, things will change and leaves will fall and it will rain. Transformed before your eyes with no time for chasing. Oh, you never know just how life is gonna go. You jump in your boat and row, row, row. Jump in your boat and row, row, row. Something's gonna happen and it could be good.
Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen like a new world.
That sounds so pretty. Aim high, go for your pie in the sky. Go ahead and trust yourself. Everything could right itself. Life's a stream, so go ahead now, follow your dream. Jump in your boat and row, row, row. Jump in your boat and row, row, row. Here we go.
Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen like a new world. Oh yeah.
Now that was pretty.
Remember doing that full band thing?
Yes. This is Audrey Short. Hi, Audrey. Thank you for singing the opening number with me. You've been on the show before with
Miguel.
Miguel with Tropico Boulevard.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She's in a band that just really rocks out. Kicks out. You played Janice Landing.
We
recently.
played Janice
And
live.
just tore the place up.
Yeah, that was really fun. We got some good shows coming up too. Unicorns Unite, I think is the
Oh,
next
yeah,
one.
I'm there too.
Have you been there?
Yeah, we should sing some stuff together.
We should.
I'm doing a little set, I think Saturday.
It's a great little
But
festival.
we should.
I'm also doing a vocal class during the day, I think between 2 and 3 on Friday there.
Oh, I want to come to your vocal class. I wish I'd been taking vocal lessons all along. I'm going to get started on that.
There we go. That's a good spot to start.
Yeah. So I guess we met each other through there, and then it so happened that we got hushing back, big chatty back there, and then I have
Having
to
a great
stand up here. I need to have like a muscle man back there, because that way I seem so. I don't mean to
Looks like
seem
security.
controlling, but all y'all need to hush up in the back. We ended up on stage one after another at Gecko Fest, Spring Fest, Pride, and you are working with Project Freeze, and you were always, their band is called Solar Flare, and you guys seem to be setting up just before me or after me regularly. And so then you said after one show, I think it was after the Pride show, you said,
Yeah.
we should do something together. And I'm like, okay. And then, it was what, Gecko Fest again?
Yep.
And so I called you up and we started meeting on Thursdays, I think, or something, anyway.
Yep.
And practicing with the Solar Flare band, and we sang that song, Something's Gonna Happen and It Could Be Good, which was
Awesome.
awesome.
It was really fun.
Yeah, it made me feel really good to have a whole huge band behind me. And at that concert, my friends COLEY and Sarah were there, and they wanted to
This
meet
is
you
how
and
we
get
all
involved.
met,
That's how we
yes.
all met. So you
Yes.
guys will hear more about COLEY here a little bit later. Audrey Short.
I'm not short. I'm average height.
Audrey Arts. She's not average though.
This is my Instagram handle.
Instagram, if you want to see about her. You're like a singer, songwriter, extra. Oh, Are you involved with that Wednesday night women's jam?
Yes.
What is that so exciting? I can hardly
So
stand it.
yeah, I started that the beginning of October. Every Wednesday, 8:30 to 12:30. It's just a women's only, just a really inclusive jam. Any instrument. I'm pretty sure we had like saxophones and bagpipes all of a sudden on stage the last time. I'm like, what the hell is going on? This is amazing. Like, it's been turning out really great. People just from like that I've never met before are showing up, so I know it's getting good reach, and it's just a lot of, you know, every level of experience, and just introducing a lot of women that, you know, didn't get the chance to meet each other otherwise.
And
so it's really great.
what is different about jamming with a whole bunch of ladies than like in a mixed or male-dominated band?
Well, I feel like women don't get the opportunity to jam as much because it's just the ratio of different instruments that are played. For example, there's just a lack of female drummers and bass players normally, so that is kind of a fundamental aspect of a jam. You have to have that rhythm section. So we're dealing with a lot more singer-songwriter, guitar players, and you know, just we get the scattered other instruments. There's quite a few fiddle players actually, which is cool. We get like a big string section going, but so just getting us all out of our comfort zone and trying to hop on other instruments is what I've been doing. Trying to expand the versatility. You know, like, have you ever played bass before? You're gonna try today. Like, we need a bass player on this song, or just like throwing people into the mix and just getting the girls to learn the different aspects of jamming and like just figuring out where everything fills out and fits. That's part of it. And
Rather than just sort of like sitting there, I'm kind of a singer-songwriter, and I speed up and slow down.
And figuring out how to like, work with the group and get used to playing in that setting and kind of bouncing off each other and being kind of on the spot sometimes too is part of it, you know, like you might not know the song, but just listening and looking and watching.
Terror fills my
Everybody
eyes.
comes together, and you know, it's a good way for us to all strengthen our chops, build confidence, meet each other, and just kind of learn the etiquette of jamming, where, you know, a lot of times we're going to the jams with a lot of guys, and we got to figure out like how to like sit in with that, and you know.
I think, and if I know the world, some fellas ought to come watch the jam, because
we've been getting pretty good support.
yeah,
We've
I
been
don't know
getting
why
pretty
we
good
haven't
support
thought
from the
of
guys
this
too.
before.
So.
I mean,
I've had to
the
turn
first
down a
time.
few guys that have asked to get on
Yes.
stage already, and I'm like, listen, if you come dressed up in full drag, you can get up there, but that is it. Like, that is the only way it's happening. So.
Yeah, I kind of agree. If you want to identify as a woman, put on a dress and
This is our
and do
thing,
it.
you know.
Let's
This
do it.
is the only jam that is like this in I would even say the Tampa Bay area. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why there hasn't. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, why have not we been doing this?
Ringside Cafe, Wednesday nights, 8:30 to 12:30. Yeah, and we're gonna try to keep it going through the end of the year and see what happens.
I'm so excited for you. You're a singer-songwriter also, besides rocking out in a band and accompanying everyone and leading a whole orchestra. You're really amazing. Will you sing us a song?
Sure.
All right, let's hear.
All right. Let's see.
I'm gonna go ahead and add this one to your pile.
Oh, you got to double me down. All right.
Why not?
All right. So this is an original that I think I'm gonna have a video released of this. I did a campfire session at Nature Studios. So there's gonna be a video of this coming out soon, but I'll give you guys a version of this one. It's called Sandcastles. Don't live a land inside of my head, but I'll be damned before I drag you down to a castle made of sand and never will stand through the hurricanes and the rising waves. ago. It's kind of a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, we like that. I just love that you're so rock solid on things.
Yeah, I tend to do a lot of practicing. Honestly, like, I'm one of those people that, like, I need to have an activity because I get very, like, I just have to be doing something. I don't like sitting around, so it's like I'm just always working on a painting or a drawing or a song.
And when you practice, do you just pick up your guitar and start goofing around, or do you have a particular goal in mind, or probably changes?
A lot of different things. I mean, like, it's either songwriting or recording. Like, I really like to sit down on the computer and just, like, come up with ideas. Hey Siri, what's up? I like to sit down and record. I love producing and, like, working with, like, the tech side of writing music and layering harmonies and layering different instruments and doing that stuff and helping other people write songs. That's another thing I really enjoy doing, is like helping guide ideas and not just writing in one genre or one vein. I like to think outside of the box and then inside of the box. Like, let's write a song in this time with this kind of formula, and then, okay, I'm stuck using certain rules to write this one, or this one can be freeform. So that's just really all of it.
I want to write a funk song. We're gonna have to get together.
Let's do that.
I'm like your, like,
you know, I don't really have
singer.
a funk song either. So
and I've got a line for a funk song.
Okay.
And I just need a funk song. I wouldn't know a funk song if it, you know.
Well, you know, all you need is a catchy hook and it's all about the rhythm. That's it.
Yes.
So the rhythm.
I know. And that's I just really admire people with a good, strong right hand.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Audrey, for singing one of your original songs. You're going to get back up here at the end, later, well, towards the end, because we're going to get COLEY back up and we're talking a little bit more about you
some
and
collaborations.
I love the collaborative aspect of it.
Did you already get the other one?
I already got the other one.
Wow, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I slipped it right off you. I couldn't make a pickpocket.
All right, I'll be back then.
She'll be back. She'll be back.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. That was so exciting. I spent this last week, I did, in the last 7 days, I did a couple of fundraisers. One was for the Get Rescued Pet people, to sing some songs. And then last night, I was at the Flamingo Bar doing a fundraiser for the Jack Kerouac house. And I thought to myself, what is wrong with you? You don't have any pets and you don't even like Jack Kerouac. Don't know nothing about old Jack Kerouac. What are you doing? And so what I came to is that even though I don't have pets, I have friends that have pets, and I believe in love and helping each other out. So when a friend is putting on a fundraiser and they call me up, I'm like that. And although I'm not necessarily a Jack Kerouac fan, I am a fan of literature and literacy. So that kind of encouraged me to, what do we got from the audience here?
We got from Michaela Westberg, Tradeway a Heart. And then from Lydia Marie, yay, I get to watch live and in the area. Hopefully I'll make it over next Sunday.
Okay, love you, Lydia. Give me a call if you need some help. A friend who's, anyways, Lydia, call me if you need something. So before I went down there last night to perform, I thought I would look up a Jack Kerouac quote, because we all know he's a beat and blah, 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 and I don't know, Jack Kerouac, he's important, you know. But I thought, oh my goodness, Laura, you got to inform yourself slightly. And so I just Googled Jack Kerouac quote on kindness. Why kindness? That's just because I believe in kindness, and that's what I'm doing. And turns out there is a Jack Kerouac quote on kindness. And he said, be kind all the time to everyone, and you'll find yourself in heaven now. And I thought, well, wow, what a nice quote. So I don't know what else he was on about, but he
This is like dot.
So there you go. All right, so
Take that when you get a
so
little
all of that to say, to encourage you all to give to somebody. It seems like you can give to me, Laura Shepard, at Patreon or the thing. You can give to Susie King for some pets. You can go give to the Jack Kerouac House. You can probably find some school marching band and give them something. That's right. Project free.
Yep.
That you can give them your time. Please just go ahead and give a little bit of your time, and maybe it'll be fun. Okay, next to the stage, we are going to have Pat VanLeuvan. Hello, Pat VanLeuvan. How art thou?
I am well. Thank you very much for having me.
I'm delighted to have you. Now, you actually have been on the Laura Shepard Show a long time
A
ago.
long time ago.
You came as a chair yoga instructor, maybe?
From the Senior Center, Gulfport Senior Center. I did, November, I think, of 2019, maybe.
Oh, I wonder what number show you are. We're number show 106. You'll have to go back on that. And you were talking, I think, about painting class maybe that you had
Yes.
going on about the same time.
I was teaching basic watercolor painting.
Basic watercolor painting.
Watercolor.
And so we have a great senior center. I bet they could use some volunteers.
Yes, they could.
Yes, they could.
As a matter of fact, and yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. The reason you're here now, though, is it's so exciting. This is a miniature telescopic eggplant. No, implant. It must have been the purple, a Freudian slip there. See, I got eggplants on the brain. Implants. Okay, now, you might not believe this out there in the audience, but this woman is, can I call you a bionic? Are you bionic?
Yes,
Yeah, she's bionic. This is the $6 million woman right here. You are patient #1 in Florida for this new procedure. And it's so astounding to me, I thought we would share it with you all.
Thank you, and I love to talk about it. The Dr. Mark Levy from Sarasota Retina Institute, who actually did the surgery, does refer to me as #1 bionic woman. Yes.
There you go. And who knew this is what it would look like? You know, you are buff, baby.
Yes. I was suffering from dry macular degeneration. It had been first noticed in 2002, and I did not see it from my side until 2012. So it took that long for it to develop for me.
So, but they could tell it was starting 10 years before.
Yes, they could tell it was starting, and they started to take baseline photos of the retina. And I continued to go to a retina specialist, Dr. Cohen, here in Central Avenue, St. Pete. And in 2012, he diagnosed me as legally blind. because of the damage to the retina.
And all this while, she's trundling around town, walking here and there, having coffee with friends. Like, you wouldn't have known that she was blind as a
Bat.
eggplant.
Yeah.
All right, carry on.
I didn't present as blind because it was a slow degeneration, and I kept accommodating, working through it. I did give up driving in 2015, and I was not fond of driving to begin with, so it was not a sacrifice at
And
all.
Stone enjoyed it because he got the vehicle.
He got the van, yes, and he was able to reshape it to his place on wheels. So yes, it was a good move as far as that went. I accessed Lighthouse for the Blind, and they came to my house and showed me how to deal with things in my house
Okay,
that I couldn't see.
Lighthouse for the Blind.
Blind.
That
yes.
is an organization that comes and helps you as you lose your vision,
Yes.
manage your...
Right, and they have a facility in, I believe it's Pinellas Park. I went up there for 12 weeks, one day a week, to learn how to deal with different aspects of it. But for all intents and purposes, 4 months ago, I could not write. I happened to write this miniature telescopic.
Yeah, I made her write miniature telescopic implant because I couldn't spell all those words. I'm like, you can see, baby, get up there and write
I
that.
hope I spelled them properly, but
We made clear who wrote it. The editor in the back is giving us a thumbs up.
but I couldn't write. Eye-hand coordination was impossible. I couldn't read anything. Shopping for items in a grocery store. I would have to borrow people, impose upon people to help me figure out what it was that I wanted, what product I wanted. I couldn't shop for clothes. Haven't bought anything in a long time. I'm getting ready though to attack the clothes stores. But anyhow, at the end of last year, Christmas Eve last year, Dr. Cohen arranged for me to meet Dr. Levy, who I had heard about previously, because Dr. Cohen said, you're at end stage macular degeneration, and Dr. Levy deals with end stage. And I had known about him, and Dr. Cohen was assuring me that Dr. Levy could do something for me. So I went down to Sarasota, and Dr. Levy said, yes, you're a candidate. I had to be end stage macular. I had to have no cataract surgery, no radical K, no LASIX, no eye diseases. And when he looked at me, he said, yes, you're a good candidate. I'm going to schedule you for first Monday in February, because this was treatment, the implantation of a telescope.
Implantation of a telescope. Okay, carry on.
In the eye. It was a treatment. It has been a treatment for macular degeneration for 20 years. And Dr. Levy was on one of the first studies here in Florida to do that surgery. And it was it's Medicare approved, and you're eligible to go February 1st. So I said, okay, or first Monday in February. So I said, okay. He said, but you have to come back in January for a couple of other tests. We have to examine some more, decide what you need, etc. Okay, so I made the appointment for January, and they called me the night before and said, no, we can't see you then. We're going to remake this for March. So I thought, well, the universe is saying not the right time. I thought maybe it was COVID impacted because we were still under mask mandates and that. And I thought, well, it gives me a little more time to think about it. I was only 2 weeks. I had only been pondering it for 2 weeks. So I thought, well, I went back in March, and so I had thought about it some more, and I had pretty much decided that I would have the surgery. but I did want to investigate other possibilities, and and Dr. Levy has a whole staff of people that he works with. And the optometrist that he had me working with explained to me all of the other things that I could do had I decided not to have the surgery. There were other things that could mitigate it but would not correct the problem. And
So you choose to do the surgery.
well, I choose to do the surgery, and when I saw Dr. Levy that day, Dr. Levy said, "You have to wait until June." He said, "I can't do it." He said, I can't do it. He said, because there's a new study, and it's not going to be available until June 16th. I'm the doctor in Florida that has been chosen to lead the study. It's a new telescope, and it's better than the old, fewer sutures, a little bit bigger, and less impact on the eye. So, and he said, because it's a study, there's no insurance involvement. I would not have the copay.
Mm-hmm.
So I said,
Not even a copay.
not even a copay. So I said, let me think about that for about 4.5 seconds. And I said, I can wait. I have known about this for 20 years. I can wait another 8 weeks.
Okay, so what they're doing is they're putting a telescopic lens in one eye.
Yes, they put it in this eye, and it's an unfolding telescope.
In your eye.
In my eye, it is a lens similar to a cataract lens. It was a little bit more involved, the surgery, than just a cataract lens. But the effect has been essentially the same. Now it's a lens that I can see through. It's only in one eye. It narrows my vision in my right eye. The peripheral is pretty much gone. I can only see this far to the right peripherally, but I can zero in on anything in front of me.
So before, with the macular degeneration, it was the stuff in the middle had completely degenerated.
Right.
So they stick this lens in there, whoop, whoop, so we can see out there.
And what it does, it focuses the image on the rest of the retina. It uses what the retina would ordinarily be looking for peripheral. It's focusing the image on that and then transmitting that image to the brain. Now here's the difference. The telescope, the bionic woman has a bit of a challenge because the telescope does not change. The telescope has one set image in taking one area in. The brain, it sends the image to the back of the retina, which sends it to the optic nerve. I think I'm saying this right, I'm not sure. But it sends the image to the retina, which sends it to the optic nerve, and then the optic nerve takes it and distributes it to different areas of the brain that haven't been used before. So now I'm dealing with neuroplasticity.
That's the exciting part, this neuroplasticity, because now you have one eye that only sees out that way.
Right.
And then you have this other eye that only sees a little bit peripheral.
It sees a lot peripheral.
It sees a lot peripheral, but this one doesn't see any peripheral.
Right.
And somehow you have to, in your brain, marry these two images.
No, I don't marry the two images.
What do you do?
No, I train this eye to see up close, okay, to see this far away, so I can go and
Grab
pick this
something,
up, okay, and to see this lady sitting over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then of course, when I really zoom in, I can see back in the back. Okay, so but the brain is the thing that's
Right, so we had to retrain you. Did you bring some of your toys with you?
yes, I
Yes,
did.
you had to. So it's not just a matter of getting this thing stuck in your eyeball.
No.
Like as if that wasn't enough, then you have to retrain your brain.
And I'll tell you, it has been an amazing journey. 4 months, every day is something new. I had a wonderful staff from Dr. Levy, and I was blessed with a low vision therapist named Vanessa Carmody, who has led me gently through all of these things. 4 months ago, I could not see the top line on an eye chart. That's the letter E. Could not see the top line on an eye chart. Now I can read down, now I can read down to the bottom line, at least on the eye chart that I have. I can read I'm wearing 2 pairs of glasses. These are my distance glasses. I have a pair of reading glasses. I can read large print books with my reading glasses. I haven't had a large print book out of the library since 2015 when I gave up the quiet. That was it. I can do crossword puzzles. I can write. I could not do a legible word. I can do crossword puzzles. I'm doing jigsaw puzzles. I started with 24 pieces. I've graduated up to 100-piece crossword.
I know, so it's like you're doing things. So show us some of your toys in here.
Okay.
But
Well,
so like just doing a jigsaw puzzle, like a 25-piece puzzle, those are big pieces, you know. And you think, well, goodness gracious, so 2-year-olds are doing that.
Right. This is one of my outside advantages. If I want to look at a regular size print, I use my reading glasses, and this is a 2x magnifier, and this will allow me to read basic, newspaper print and that. So that's what I have all sorts of things, and I have all sorts of stations around my house. There. One of my favorites is the ball. I have. What did I do? Oh my goodness! Don't tell me I didn't. Oh. Yeah, I did. No, I didn't bring it.
You did?
I did bring it.
You did bring your favorite. This is her favorite.
This is my favorite because, this is one. I have to learn to bounce a ball. I haven't practiced this.
Okay, she has to learn to bounce a ball.
Yes.
Ah!
Oh.
Ah! She got it! She got it! Ah! Yes! And so your brain, like you're bouncing that ball, and so you're looking at it with this telescope and this outside.
Right. I scan with this eye. I'm supposed to scan with this eye and then zero in with the right eye. Okay. So, and this here, you can try that. Can you bounce a ball?
So far, so good. Well, no, but I'm like, okay, what do you do with this?
Now this I have to follow this back and forth.
Well, and it seems like all of this seems so ridiculously simple if both your eyes are working together, but
Right.
to retrain your brain.
Right.
And this idea that that when you're older, your brain is stuck is absolutely false, and I think
That's right.
they're starting to realize. Now, with all this new brain training that you've had to do to make
Yes.
your eye function, do you
Right.
feel like you're thinking differently? How has it affected your brain?
Oh, absolutely. I have done more in the past 4 months than I have in the past 10 years, I think. I just, it's opened up a whole new world to me. It's amazing. Part of it has been kind of fun. There's a thing called the Charles Bonnet syndrome that affects people who were sighted and lose their sight for whatever reason. The brain expects to see something when
Yes.
it's looking at it. And so those folks who have lost their vision sometimes start to see imaginary people walking alongside of them, appearing in front of them. And Charles Bonnet kicked in big time. Before the surgery, I had to wear a patch over my left eye to strengthen my right eye. And Charles Bonnet kicked in big time. I would be walking down the street and there would be children playing ahead of me and people walking. And it was wild.
And how did you know the difference between, because we know you're not crazy, you know,
Right,
so you're
right,
seeing
right.
things and you're not like
Right,
flighty. I mean, you
right.
have a pretty good grasp
Right,
on reality.
right.
So how did you determine what was a vision and what was?
Because I knew there were children frolicking in front of me. I
just sort of
I
knew
knew
that.
that. I knew that.
Huh?
Yes. And at one point after the surgery, and I was down in Sarasota, and came home with a friend, which I was very grateful for. Friends came to the fore and drove me back and forth to Sarasota. One of the ladies had grown up in Sarasota, so she wanted to see around Sarasota after the visit, and I had already gotten glasses at that time. They didn't put me into glasses until after the surgery. And I inadvertently had my reading glasses on when I left the building, and got in the car and drove up to St. Pete with the reading glasses on, with sunglasses. And the entire time, driving from Sarasota, the back up 301 to St. Pete, there were only two things that I actually saw. One was the intersection of Manatee Avenue and 301 down in Bradenton. I recognized that. And the other was, I was at the top of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge and I could see around me. But everything else was Charles Bonnet. There were buildings, there were trucks, there were cars, there were people jumping on the hood of the car. Obviously, I knew that was Charles Bonnet talking to me. Because
And had they warned you that would happen, could happen?
I knew that, and I don't know that the doctor ever said to me, if Charles Bonnet was mentioned, it was because I knew about it.
Yeah.
And I had known, as a matter of fact, my older daughter had called me when I was first diagnosed back in 2002. She said, if you start to see things, you're not crazy. And I said,
Yeah.
I know, because I had heard that before I even started the involvement.
So you get this thing implanted in your eye,
Right.
and then you have to do all these ridiculous exercises. I mean, but
Well, they're actually,
yes.
I've had friends try to.
Oh, well, I know. Well, this one is easier than this one I've noticed. So I'm not that. Yeah, but like all the complicated things that are happening between your two eyes and your brain
Right,
as
yes.
this thing goes over,
Yes.
it's something else.
Yes.
And I was by your house one day, and she had this little plastic thing that a I don't know, a 2-year-old would have.
Oh, yes,
where
yes.
you put a round peg in a round hole and a square peg in a square hole, and this was her homework. And so there we go.
It was fun homework. The other thing I did learn from the optometrist, that with macular degeneration, I was always wearing dark glasses.
Yes.
With macular degeneration, and I was always wearing the black.
Yeah.
Black, blue. Macular degeneration gets better contrast with the yellow, orange, amber, browns
Spectrum.
spectrum. So that's what I'm going for.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for
You're
coming
welcome.
and talking about this. I want to give
I
you a
have a
little
question.
gift. Oh, what? There's a question?
Yeah. I was just gonna say,
Oh.
did any of your other senses get heightened, like your
Did-
hearing or like
my
things
other
that close to you?
senses.
Other senses have been heightened. Certainly with the loss of eyesight, my hearing, and that was recognition of faces.
Yeah.
Was a lot of
Right.
helped with that, and sensation of touch. And the low vision expert says continue to use those. You don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose those.
Yeah,
Right, and
like,
another
if somebody,
question.
like close to you, like you can feel like that kind of heat or energy or something too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've read some case studies on like people like going colorblind when they
Yeah.
were born not colorblind, and like how that really like affects like,
The brain
not
is
just-
so
the brain
exciting.
doesn't know what it lost.
All right. So
that's-
what's the other question?
We got some shout outs from Christy Graves and
Oh.
Kevin Bradley.
Yay.
Okay.
And I feel like I can see the bionic eye like in your
Yeah,
eye.
Yes.
I feel like you
Yes.
can see it kind of
Depending
glinting.
upon the light, yes.
Like in photos
People
and
say it looks like diamonds in my eye.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like you have a diamond in your
Yeah,
eye.
that's
It's
right.
really wild.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right, we can keep talking about this,
Can I
but we
say
have
one
to.
other thing?
Yes, you may.
Talking about the color, incredibly clear, dramatic color changes. I play a game called Rummy Cube, and it has tiles for and there's an orange cube and a red cube. tile. And I was never able to tell the difference between
Oh,
the,
now
when
you
I
can.
played the game, I would have to ask, and now I can. So.
This is some
Oh, wonderful.
some lemon grass for some tea, and this
Perfect.
is your moringa that's for
Oh.
tea or spicy.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
this is a beautiful. It's this
Oh.
is some Cuban oregano that you can sniff, and
Oh.
this is a lucky bamboo, and it'll live in that jar for a little while. And
Okay.
thank you for your
Thank
time,
you
my
for
dear. I
having
hate to
me.
rush you up. We could.
Oh, yeah.
We can after the show, if anybody has any other
Oh, sure.
questions for Pat, we can
Yes.
chat about them.
Okay.
And see, now I can send her trundling off with her arms full, and and she and I think she can see where she's going.
And I think reach.
Wow! So there you go.
There I go.
Patient number one. Patient number one with the. It's just I am just astounded all the time by people around me. All right, now let's get COLEY to the stage. COLEY and Audrey. COLEY and Audrey back to the stage. Yay, COLEY, Audrey. Wow. And now for something completely different.
That was super neat.
It was interesting, wasn't it?
Incredible.
Okay, so back to our little story of when we were performing at Gecko Fest. COLEY, you came to see me perform, which was nice, and to kind of you had some experience working with the population similar, or what?
So I was in Spain with Sarah, and we had just finished filming the Jeebus movie here in town, in Gulfport, which was incredible. And I felt like Gulfport had given me so much, and I felt like I can't think of a time in my life where I had this similar feeling where I was like, I need to do more service on the ground. Like I'm helping in my art and in my message and what I'm saying in my music and comedy, but like on the ground I need to do something. I'm not doing enough. Like I need to go to a soup kitchen or whatever it is. I need to help. Like I'm not helping enough on the ground. So I was talking to Sarah about it in Spain, and then came home to Gulfport and told you this feeling I had. I was like, I'd like to do some service in Gulfport just to say thank you, because like Gulfport gave me this movie and I appreciate it so much. Is there any way I could give back to Gulfport? And then you told me about Project Free, adults with disabilities who do music and arts. And when I was in high school, I was a coach for the Special Olympics, and my sister's a special ed teacher. So I was like, oh, that feels like a good fit. And I went and met Audrey and met everybody, fell in love with them all, and I was like, I gotta help them out. And this is awesome.
And so, you have filmed a movie in town. Sarah, come pop your head in. There's moved in this town with Miss Sarah too. That she's a producer on the movie. It's called the Jeebus movie. And thank you, Sarah. And you wrote the movie and produced the movie and working on the movie and getting people in the town to do the movie. And you have a song in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Called, okay, so it's COLEY at COLEY TV or at Jeebus Movie. This is where you can see the trailer.
We made a movie called Jeebus about a beach bum Jesus who comes back to reteach America how to love each other. And it's kind of Monty Python, Sacha Baron Cohen, weird satire. It's irreverent, but at the same time, it's also preaching Jesus' message of love. Like it's like a deep purpose-driven film, but at the same time mocking all of our political division in our country. And so just trying to bring everybody back to the essence of like, let's calm down and love each other again. Like this is getting too real.
And so, yay, okay, that's teaser. Wow, round of applause. Okay, and in the movie there is a song called "War is Gay."
That's where we're going in this.
Isn't that what it is?
No.
No, it's called. What's it
Okay,
called?
so there's a lot of.
What's the song? Isn't that the song y'all are doing?
No.
No.
We're doing some-
Okay,
No,
I don't know
is
what's
that
going on.
accurate though?
Okay.
Okay.
It's a political satire, so at times I say very extreme things, but they're meant with the intention of love. You're throwing me
Okay.
curveballs here.
Well, I thought
do
that's
not
what
have
the
a
name.
song.
I'm not trying to throw
It's
curveballs.
It's all
good.
Sometimes you have
It's
to
all
talk
good.
about
You're-
something uncomfortable to
You're
get
cra-
people.
I love it.
to
I love it.
pay
I'm with
attention,
it. I'm
you know?
totally with it. I was like,
Oh, wasn't
so
that the
so
song?
in the movie
Ah,
I mock society, right? And
Okay.
we got to all admit, all right, since 2020, 2016, I'm not going to say red or blue or anything like this. We can all admit it's been weird, right? It's been very weird. Politically, it's been weird. The politicians are saying all these nutty things, and we're getting very angry at each other, and none of it makes any sense. So in my art, I will reflect that back upon. And so there's some really wacky things that come out, and sometimes people get offended, and I'm like, I'm not offensive. Reality's offensive. What's happening is offensive. There's things that are happening that I'm just reflecting back that is kind of like the satire of the times, you know what I mean? And yeah, one of the weird prescriptions in the movie, there's a song called, it says murder is gay.
Oh, murder is gay. That's what
and I
it
go,
is, yeah.
how do you fix homophobia and homicidal tendencies, right? Our country is way too aggressive. They're too aggressive. All the violence and the gun violence and all that, it's too aggressive. And we're also homophobic. So how do we fix that? Well, if we tell them murder is gay, maybe they'll stop doing it. You know, and it's this like reverse logic that's like playing with the times, and it's people would say that's extremely offensive. And I'd be like, yeah, and all these violent occurrence in life is offensive. What's happening in real life is offensive. This needs to stop. We need to draw attention to it. That's the whole point of art. So there is some edgy stuff that some people will be offended by, but I can promise you the intention is not to inflame. The intention is to heal. The intention is to, you know, say something worthy of healing. But the more universally acceptable song that people would, by the end of the movie, this is one of the ones in the middle of the movie. By the end of the movie, we sing "Love Is My Religion" by Ziggy Marley. And no one can disagree with that. I would think nobody can disagree with love being your religion, you know, and that's the main cause of it. So that we're doing with
yeah. So you were thinking about having my students in like a scene towards the end of the movie. And having them like be cast as like angels or something?
Yeah, so they're going to be the angels in the movie, and they're saying so when we made Jeebus, 200 people in Gulfport all came to work for back end only. It's a true co-op. So typically, if you're making a movie, it could cost $2 million if you're paying all the stuff like that. It cost us $150,000, and everybody co-owns the movie. So anybody, if you contributed energy as an actor or as a crew member, anything down to hair and makeup, you got a percentage of the film and you own it. And I'm very proud of the fact that we have every type of human you could think of. White, black, Latin, Asian, LGBTQ, women, men, homeless Max. We got every type of person. Everybody was welcome on set at Jeebus. And then I come to Project Free and I go, obviously people with disabilities also need to be included. We gotta get them involved. So they're going to be the angels in the movie, and they're going to be singing "Love Is My Religion" as the film comes home. You know,
do you want to give us a rendition of that?
Yeah, we can do that. Is there anything more you want to talk about? Maybe we can close out with that.
Okay,
we'll close with that,
okay. We're going to close out with that song. So when this guy comes up and says to you, "Oh, I want to help out. You want to be in my movie?" How did you?
Well, it actually didn't start out as like, I want you to be in my movie. It was more like, how can I help you? Which was great because that prompted like, okay, what do we really need and what are we thinking about? And he was very inspired by the music performance and he wanted to help us capture some video because that's what he's got experience in. He's got access to that equipment. He wanted to help us just, capture some video, some content, and create something that, we can kind of exchange our abilities and skills and talents together. And so we sat down and we talked about a couple different ideas of like what we can do. And so like my students, we've been writing an original song for them because, we want to promote the band, but a lot of the stuff they've been doing is covers. And so I want them to start thinking about writing their own music, and that's something that we can have as like great content for them that isn't something that necessarily is like a copyright infringement. They can actually like put that on Spotify and publish that without any kind of royalties going to another artist.
You have to get royalties to do
so in my career I wrote, directed, produced and starred in Jeebus, but I also am a music artist and I have 15 albums and I have a record label called Rebel, and I've always done entertainment business stuff. So one of the ways I was kind of helping them is just anyway, the music business or the entertainment business, whatever it is, the intention behind it was more like the movie ideas came and they're beautiful, and when you're creating, you just come up, you're throwing ideas in the pot and you're doing all the things. But the real intention of it was when I saw you guys at Gecko Fest, I cried tears of joy twice. Yeah. Twice, like I was so moved by it. Like it did something deep to me that was just I so appreciated. I really just wanted to serve. So the first day I showed up, I was like, am I cleaning toilets? What am I doing? Yeah, you tell me how can I help? I'm here to help. So tell me how I can help
We
you.
talked
And
about
what they
shooting
do
the
is
video
incredible.
for the original song. So we're gonna get in the process of recording that pretty soon, and then he's gonna help us create. We already talked about our A-roll, B-roll, C-roll, all that stuff. So yeah, we're gonna shoot a music video for the original song. We're gonna do the Love Is My Religion for your movie, and then what was the other thing?
And then your guys' original music video.
Yeah, but
And we're filming your play.
Oh yeah,
the
so
Rock
the
of Ages, which is
musical. That's what I mean.
Okay,
Oh.
that's it. All right,
Go
Go to
this.
Catherine Hickman this weekend, next weekend.
Yeah, so
Rock of
actually,
Ages.
there's a showing tonight. I'm actually going to be heading there after a
Have you
short
seen
nap. It's I think the show starts at 4:30 today. I believe the tickets are $15. Catherine Hickman Theater. 40 special actors. I'm doing the music with my bandmate Cody, and I think we've been a couple different drummers. But so there's a show tonight, and then next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the Friday and Saturday shows are 7 to like 9:30, and then the Sunday shows are a little earlier, like 5 o'clock.
It's amazing. The Catherine Hickman Center is a beautiful theater in our country.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
And so all of these people have. The show is
Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages, and it's songs from different.
So it's like 80s hair bands. You're gonna get like
Ooh.
White Snake. We got like Come On, Feel the Noise, all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a date night. You went the other day. Did you go? Was that on a date night, or was it just?
So
Yeah. Okay.
Did you go to the
It's
you
fun.
went to last
it's a
night?
whole lot of
Yeah.
fun.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And they're incredible.
The genuineness of the actors was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just really, really well done.
And they're incredible musicians. Like the whole thing that's been mind blowing for me is that it kind of questions the idea of what's special or what's different or like when we're jamming out, it feels just like when I'm jamming out with my buddies. Right before everybody's riffing jokes, saying little weird odd things and getting in the zone. And then when they're in the pocket, they're in the pocket.
Yeah.
Just like we're in the pocket. Everybody's in the pocket and there's that pocket in music that is universal and it's just beautiful to see.
It's that same thing. Their
incredible.
their senses are heightened in areas where they might lack in other areas, and that creates like a whole new, like you don't realize that, like especially for me teaching them, you don't realize that explaining something one way is not universal to everybody. You have to have a million different ways to explain things to people with or without disabilities. Everybody understands things differently. So working with these guys helped me figure out how like I can immediately understand when I'm explaining something to somebody and they don't get it but they don't want to say it. So I'm like, okay, let me just reiterate this like a couple different ways, and when they get it, you're like, yes, okay.
Because you can
Like, I'll
see
start-
it, can't you?
I can tell when they don't understand, and that they're just like, oh yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm not explaining it right. Let me try.
But then you
this."
can also have a situation where I'm, Georgetown educated, blah, 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 and then you teach them a bass line and they pick it up way faster than I would.
when you
way
came to
faster,
Project
like-
Free and I
and just
handed a
boom,
bass
like
to a
no
young
questions
man
asked, boom, 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 boom.
who's
Like,
never
way
played
better
bass
musicians
before.
than me. Yeah, way better musicians.
and he had it in what, like less than a minute?
Less than a minute,
Yeah.
and it's amazing to watch. It's
But I started one way. I said, try this way, and he wasn't getting it. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me just-
Yeah.
And then I explained a different way, and he was.
And it's a
there.
greater lesson for everybody where it's like, it's all a spectrum, right? It's like we all have things we're great at, we all have things that
Yeah.
we're not great at. And in society, we get in this thing where we kind of judge each other's things that you're not good at or trying to exclude because of you're not good at this or you don't belong. And I don't know, it just really opens your mind to ideas of like why we are all special in our unique abilities and our disabilities or whatever the things is. It's like we all just gotta have more patience with each other and then you get to see the gifts and then you see the gifts of like, okay, COLEY is not good at doing the dishes. But if I go up and I start telling some jokes, it goes okay. You know what I mean?
I was gonna
It's
say
like,
something
it's
like that. The humor approach is really great because, like, again, how you're saying how everybody's divided and a little bit of anger going on. It's like we all need to kind of accept that, like, it's okay to laugh at things, or else we're just gonna go insane. 'Cause it's
yeah,
like,
it's already kind of insane.
You know, just,
And did you have special training before you got your job at Cross?
so I volunteered for a little while at Park, and that was like my first introduction to working with people with disabilities, and that was a very large population at all different levels of functioning. So that was like that was very eye-opening for me. And then I was with them for a while, and then I started doing like an art, like a grant where I was helping them create art that was getting sold, and we did some like really high upscale like black tie gala events, and I was playing music for them. And so I did that for like a couple years, and then I went off and I started working with my band. And at that point, I think I was still waitressing back then too. And I remember I was just like, I got to the point where I was like, I'm done waitressing. I'm doing music. I finished my art degree, and I was like, this is the point in my life where I'm going to start doing things that I'm passionate about and using these things. And so I quit my waitressing job. I started working with a band. I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? Like, because the grant ran out, and that, you know, kind of fell through there. And I just started looking online, and I found Project Free. And I went in there and I started talking to Kim, my boss, and I'm like, so you want to like play a song, or like and she's like, no, just come back tomorrow, you're right. Like, she just loved my personality. My resume kind of spoke for itself.
Yeah.
I immediately connected with my students, so yeah, and it's been like since 2017.
All right, time is running out. We're going to get out of this show. There's gifts for you all both.
Yay!
But you don't have to hold them right this minute, because you guys are going to have to pick up an instrument.
My magical
so we're gonna
plant
put
whip.
this, yes, magical
Nice.
plant whips for you all, and one of the lucky bamboos. I want you all to take that
So
home.
excited.
All right, get your guitar.
Okay, you got your lyrics on this, bro? I think
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
gonna have to cheat a
So
little
this is
bit.
the song that we're doing at the end of Jeebus with Project Free.
Now,
Love
how
is
did you
my
get
religion.
permission to do it? Did you
Well,
work
my
on that?
lawyer's gonna have to clear it as a
Okay.
cover song.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you gotta contact.
I'm just
the-
going to sort of,
Yeah.
I'm
You just
gonna
hang
on
out,
top
feedback.
of writing
You
it and
can
playing
sing
five
the
roles,
chorus
I've done
with us.
300
It's really
contracts
easy.
on
It's
movies.
just-
insane.
you guys can sing the chorus
It's for
too.
another day though.
So,
You'll
thanks
pick,
for being here.
you guys
Next
will
show,
pick up on the chorus.
November
help sing
6th.
Help sing the chorus with us.
Yay.
That's it.
Hey, oh wait, there's something else.
That's literally it.
What? Oh, you want the joint? I thought you wanted me to film.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I would
she's-
love
Oh,
that.
Okay, what would you do? The light?
Okay,
We're gonna do
there's
Love is My Religion by Ziggy Marley. Yeah?
All right, that's why you're in the middle.
that-
Because you're gonna hold the.
Okie dokie, folks.
Is that
We got some
appropriate? Is that allowed?
Delta 8.
Oh, that's
We don't have a lot.
Totally. Delta
We
eight.
We can Delta 8.
I do.
Who's got a lighter?
It's
Oh,
back there,
Lord, this may be a first.
My
We're
lighter's
singing
back there by my keys. I think it's
Ziggy
orange.
Charlie. Ziggy Marley. So you're working on this song. You hope to get it in the
Ziggy would be
movie.
proud.
If
The lead song.
if you can get it cleared, which you probably can, you just probably have to look up the.
Just gotta pay a little bit.
Just gotta pay a little bit, baby. Please
But we
go
also- we
out,
also have
watch
a-
a show, help someone.
We also have a 20-song soundtrack that comes with the movie. That's all original.
20 songs.
So
soundtrack.
that's cool. Like
So-
the independent. Oh, and yeah, are you pitching
We
this
gotta
film
go.
to Netflix?
We gotta
We'll
go.
see. We'll see.
You guys gotta sing, yeah.
All right.
Things to happen. Look up the trailer online. Look up your friends. Keep in touch. Woo! This is a first.
Ready?
I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fore. Don't worry, no one is gonna lose your soul. All my days I've been searching to find out what this life is worth. And through the books I've searched, and through time I've searched. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. So don't let nobody stop us, 'cause free spirits have to soar. With you I share the gift that we now know. I don't wanna fight. I say, hey, let's go fly a kite. There's nothing we can't cure. I keep my arms for sure. 'Cause love is my religion. 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 I don't know, but love is my religion. Is it Christian? Is it God? Is it Jesus? Is it Buddhist? Is it Taoist? I don't know, but love is my religion.
And kindness.
My religion.
All right. Woo! All right, leave them some money in the tip jar on your way out. Go help somebody see a show. See you
Go
next
for it, baby.
time.